Well, it was like once a decade, like about 20 years ago, I was telling a story about my roommate to someone who said, you need to have a one-woman show and you need to put her in it. That's just crazy. And then about 10 years ago, when this space was owned by the Black Dahlia Theater Company, I saw the greatest solo show I'll ever see in my life, which was Belfast Blues by Geraldine Hughes. And it was phenomenal. It was like an hour, 35 minutes, and it was over in like 30 seconds. That's how good it was. And I remember looking at that and thinking, oh, because she just told the story of growing up in Ireland, She told the story of growing up in Ireland during the Troubles, and it was hilarious. She was just so funny. And she told stories where she wasn't so likable sometimes. You totally rooted for her throughout, but she was honest. And that just like blew me away, and it just stayed in my head. Like, oh, you can tell the truth not just about the ways in which things have been hard, but like ways in which you were hard on somebody. You know, that kind of thing. Because that's a full story. Now you're a person. Now I believe you. Because, you know, we go to solo shows and stuff, but as soon as someone makes themselves not flattering to look at, now I really believe them. Bless you. And then about a few years ago, a friend from Theater of Note, Michelle Hilliard, and another friend and I were like, hey, let's write solo shows, and we'll all produce and direct each other's shows. And that planted another seed. And finally, I kind of just snapped. There was just some part of me that was like, oh no, what happened was my brother told me about this book. He said, there's this anthology. We should write essays. So I thought, oh, I'll write an essay about creating a solo show, which will force me to create a solo show. So if you read the excerpt, if you ever read this essay, most of the excerpts of the solo show didn't make it to the final cut, but they actually happen to be the first things I ever wrote for the solo show. So it was like a way to start it without feeling too much pressure. And then I just kept writing, and Michelle Hilliard and I would meet once a week to write for an hour, because that's the most I could do because I was out of the writing habit. And then it just kept going, and then, you know, I had like 12 minutes that I took up to a festival, and then I had a longer version that I took to a workshop, and then it was like, I'm gonna do this. And one of the reasons I wanted to, sorry, I'm taking a long time to answer this, is that I really was getting asked with alarming frequency, are you from the Midwest? And it really did make me feel like, who am I that people are asking me these questions? What am I giving off that anyone would ever think that? Because I've never lived there. You know, I don't really know the Midwest. So it was like, let's set this record straight. Y'all need to know. And also I knew I'll end this quickly, like, not so quickly. I knew that I was sometimes considered boring at parties because I'm awful with small talk. It just feels like a whole lot of nothing to me. And there's nothing I can contribute when everybody talks about, oh, remember in high school we were so bored, so we took drugs, and then we tipped cows. And I'd be like, no, I was never bored, and I was climbing pyramids. That's not gonna make you popular. Nobody wants to hear that. So I was just like, I'm gonna tell it. I don't care if people think it's completely unrelatable. There's gotta be something relatable about my story. I'm not the only international school person I've ever met. Esther Williams at Kalbfleisch in the audience tonight is another one. Like, we have these stories. So, and Michelle Hilliard, like, we're here. I'm telling it. So that's why.